Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have a really special guest, Becky G. I've been following you for so long. Actually, been dying to do your makeup. I DM'd her maybe like a few months ago asking if I could do her makeup. I feel like you always have like the most beautiful, colorful, glamorous makeup looks, and I was so nervous to do makeup. It's my first time, so I took kind of a long time. So this video might be a little bit longer than our normal, but we
had a good time.
Had a good time, and I feel like honestly, I learned so much about your community and the reasoning why you started Treslúce, and products are so amazing. And if you guys want to see how I created this blue smoked out liner, just continue to watch.
Check it out.
So I'm gonna prime your lids first. During quarantine, I actually started working with like a few like Latin artists, and what I've like come to realize is that I'm like so obsessed with like the community that you guys have and the way that like I feel like Latin artists treat their team. I feel like it's always like it's like family, and I feel like you don't find that a lot in.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with just like the culture that Hollywood has had for so long, which is like the artist is the superstar and then everyone else is just the help. Versus like it literally takes a village to have us, the talent, feel like that, you know, elevated superstar version of ourselves. Like y'all see us in rare form, you know what I mean? Like my makeup artists have seen me like mid-breakup, like a mess, you know what I mean? Or like mid-life crisis. And it's like the switch happens, and it's thanks to you guys, because you guys help tell that story, you know, whether it's for music videos, red carpets, performances, press days, that elevated version of ourselves. It's like a literal transformation. And
I'm gonna be using the shade Unica.
Única.
Unica, what does that mean?
Yeah, única, unique.
Oh, Unica.
One of a kind.
So I like listen to so much like Latin music, but I never like I know full-on songs, but I have no idea what
What you're saying.
What I'm saying.
Part of our culture, I grew up, my godmother was a preschool teacher for kids with special needs for like many years.
That's what my sister does.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Bless her, that's amazing.
When you started making this eyeshadow palette, because like, so I actually have a brand too, and like, I feel like
I didn't know.
making eyeshadow. I think making eyeshadow palettes are so hard, and like the way that you like position them on a whole palette, like what like goes next to each other. I love that. I feel like everything like at least these ones, I feel like they kind of like make it easy for you
It's
to.
snackable is what I call it. So it's like
Snackable.
this is a snack. This is a snack, this is a snack.
Yeah,
or this is a snack, this is a snack, this is a snack. That was so intentional. I'm glad you recognized that.
Yeah, it makes it super easy. So I'm using Bella now, just like it's a little bit more of a gray tone transition color. I'm gonna put that right on top of Unica just to kind of cool it down a little bit, just because I want the lid color to be more of like a bronzer color, but with just like a little bit of warmth. And I'm keeping the eyeshadow more towards the outer end of the eye because I really want to elongate Becky's eyes, and I don't want to do too much just because I am going to add color onto the bottom. So I want it to be like very wearable, very like daytime, but still very glam. How did you decide on the name? Treslúce.
Treslúce. Yeah, so tres is the number 3 in Spanish, and to me that represents like mind, body, and soul. It's like a very spiritual number. It's also like my lucky number. So growing up playing like softball and soccer, like my jersey number was always the number 3. And so the spiritual side of it, the lucky number side of it, I feel like makeup is like not just an expression of like what's on the outside, but from what's within, you know? And so there's that, and then you have the luz, which is like inspired by the word lucir.
What does that mean?
Or light, like to shine. And so, yeah.
So I'm gonna use the shade Alma now. So this is a really beautiful like rich brown, and I'm gonna put this just like right along the lash line.
Like I didn't come up with the brand name until after we had like our brand color.
Oh really?
Yeah, and our
Like
brand
why,
story.
Why blue?
So I just felt in my heart like I wanted something bold and strong. And it's not to say that everything else out there isn't, but I think that when I would walk into, and I did this with Sebastian, my man, the other day, because he asked me the same question, and we went to an Ulta And I said, look around. I was like, do you see it anywhere? And he said, no. And he was like, I see a lot of pinks, neutrals, reds, purples, but no blue. And I was like, yeah, I know. And it's like inspired by like that Talavera blue that you'll see a lot in like Mexican
what
architecture. Like on this Talavera tiles is like part of what you'll see in a lot of like architecture throughout Mexico. I wanted to mix it up.
This is very well thought out.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm gonna take a little wipe now and just go along the bottom lash line and kind of follow it towards the end of the eyebrow and just clean up just so I have like a nice cleaner line. I'm gonna do the bottom eyeshadow after I do the skin, but I remember when I was just starting out, I was working at MAC, but like I was building a kit, and for me, the Sephora store was like 4 doors down, but I would go in and I would always look at like different brands and things, and obviously like because I worked at MAC, I got a discount on products, and when I get like PR kits now, I appreciate these kits so much more than before I had my brand, because I understand like how much like goes into it.
Oh, 100%.
What's the price point of?
So the top of our products is $35, and that's for the brushes, and you get multiple brushes.
How much is this palette?
The palette's $30.
Oh
yeah. And what's really cool is that like a lot of our components are like sustainable in that sense. So like they're very like green friendly. We're really about like reuse, repurpose, recycle, and like the reuse is like, for instance, is my favorite. I always talk about how like our mirror is like detachable, so you can keep this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so it's like kind of like a little collectible. So as we release more eyeshadow palettes, and once you're done with it, instead of just throwing away the whole thing, you can keep the mirror. And the artwork is also on the back of the mirror. And the artwork is done by other Latinx artists that we collaborate with. So this one was done by Monica Loya. She's from Mexico, and she's incredible. And she made this for us. And so it's kind of like a way to, you know, honor them.
Wait, that's amazing. So the foundation I'm using, so this is actually Becky's foundation. I mixed 2 shades together, NARS Stromboli and Luminous Silk in number 6. So I'm just gonna blend. I always like to apply foundation with a brush first, just to kind of get the product onto the skin, and then I'll go in with my blender and I'll press everything in just so it kind of like melts into the skin and it looks like skin. I mean, she has such good skin already, but and this like color is so it matches you perfectly, so you know your stuff.
I do.
So I'm gonna contour now. I always like to contour before I apply concealer, and I'm actually using my
obsessed by the way.
Like cream contour powder bronzer duo, and I have this brush that you honestly just kind of just stamp the product into the areas that you want to define and to shape and to bring a little bit of color to. I'm just gonna put this right into the hollows of the cheeks and kind of press and blend as I go. And then I'm gonna put this right onto like the halo of the forehead as well. And then a little bit just like right underneath the chin. But so like when I was like coming out with these products, it was so hard for me to like find the right like color tone. Because I wanted something that was like for my cream, I wanted it to be not orange, not too gray. So I wanted it like just like the in between. Like what's your
preference?
Like what's your preference? Like you like to look very warm and very golden. I feel like
I like warm and golden, but I can't do orange. And so it literally needs to be this perfect shadow contour, because I like doing both cream and powder, which is why I love this product so much, because it literally gives you both.
Do you contour before highlighting, or do you highlight before contouring?
I like contouring first.
You do?
Yeah.
Wait, did you always do that? So I actually learned that from Makeup by Ariel. I'm obsessed with like the way that he does makeup, but like I love the way that, because by contouring first, you're like shaping the face, and then it allows you to put on like less concealer
and see where where you need
Wait, but like
it.
why did you start contouring first?
That was like just my natural instinct.
Really?
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna highlight. I'm gonna use this NARS concealer in the shade Custard. I'm gonna put this like right down the bridge of the nose and kind of put it just like right into the center of the forehead. And then I'm gonna put a little bit just like right underneath the eyes. I always like to use like 2 shades underneath the eyes just because one to like cancel out any darkness and I like that more peachy, pinky under eye. But on the rest of the like the high points of the face, I want to kind of keep it more neutral and yellow. How long do you give your glam team to glam you for like a bigger event, for like red carpet?
Oh, 3 hours at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, no, I mean, because for me, it's like I need time to eat, so sometimes I'm like,
You don't want to
give
be
me
rushed?
5 minutes. Yeah, give me 5 minutes in between something. You know, I know that it's like hard for hair and makeup at the same time, depending on what the look is. If you're doing a snatch pony, you know, sometimes it's easier to give hair their own dedicated 20 solid minutes before while you prep skin.
People I feel like don't understand, like in those 3 hours, like you're not fully like doing the makeup for 3 hours. Like she's getting her nails done, she's getting
There's
styling,
a lot going
she's
on. Totally.
doing hair. So I'm gonna blend this out with a brush first. I always like to kind of like disperse the product onto the area that I want it first and kind of slowly like just diffuse it into like the contour. And then I'm gonna go ahead and press everything in with the blender after. So I'm gonna use that cream contour to kind of contour the nose as well. I'm gonna bring this down the side of the bridge and then do the same thing on the other side. I like to like allow this to kind of sit here just for a little bit and kind of melt into the skin, and then I'll blend it out with a blending brush.
I'm a big communicator when it comes to makeup because I've seen how other talent has managed those situations when they don't like something, and it always, I feel, could be counterproductive. And I always say it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. You know, there are some people that are like,
but like,
I hate it.
But how do you learn? Like, how do you learn that? Like, how did you learn
It's
that?
called
Because
just be a good person, you know, like just be nice. Like,
obviously, I feel like people, you
no
know
me
that.
cuesta nada to like, you know, just be like, hey, I like what you did, but can we make it a little bit longer, you know, on the liner? Like, I kind of like it when it's a little bit longer, or I'm not really feeling this lash, you know?
Yeah.
It's just how you say it versus like, if you're just kind of like, I don't know. Also, can I just say that I'm obsessed with this little window that covers the cream?
Oh, thank you.
Because it's like the amount of times in the past that I've used like cream contours and it gets all nasty and like fuzzy in there from like, I don't know, just like dust or just little things, and it gets like all weird. It's like a little protector, a little ventana.
Little ventana.
Yeah, the window.
I really
little
wish
window
that I
to
could
cover
speak
it.
Spanish.
You'll learn the more you hang out with us.
So I'm gonna use the powder bronzer now and just kind of go over the areas that I applied the cream contour. So the powder bronzer is a little bit more on the warm side, and I like to go in like just patting motions and kind of just pushing this into the skin so it kind of adheres and it doesn't really move any of the foundation that we obviously work so hard to like kind of blend in. So I kind of press it in place, and then I always want to make sure that I kind of like put it a little bit into the hairline so you don't have like that white line around your forehead. I'm always going to put it right underneath the jawline as well, and I always want to make sure that I bring it all the way up towards the end of the ear, just so again it doesn't look like there's just like a harsh line right underneath just like the jaw. It kind of diffuses into the neck as well. When you were in middle school and high school, did you like speak like fluent Spanish, or
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
You grew up here in LA, especially speaking Spanglish, like we make up our own words. Like my grandma, like I thought that the Spanish word for banana was banana, because my grandma would say banana, but it's actually plátano. Like that is the Spanish word for banana. Or like we would say marqueta, voy a ir a la marqueta, and like marqueta isn't a real word, or like troca, or voy a parquear, and it's like these aren't real words. If I remember, I did Spanish in middle school, and I like failed miserably, and I was like offended. I was like, I speak Spanish. Like, what? But because they were using words like vosotros. It was like Spaniard Spanish, not like Mexican Spanish. And then I started to learn, you know, as I started singing more Spanish music professionally.
I grew up speaking, like my first language was like Vietnamese, but then, so whenever, I have this like stutter, and I feel like because I feel like I would always say like words like very weird in like high school or in middle school because I went to Vietnamese school and to
Really?
to
Oh, that's
regular
so
school,
cool.
so it was kind of confusing. And I feel like I always like tell my parents like you like grew up in America and you are supposed to speak English, but then you're telling me that I need to speak Vietnamese and.
Yeah, it's like damned if I do, damned if I don't type of thing.
Alright, so I'm going to apply some blush now. I'm using She's So LA. This is like a...
Yes, she is.
This is like my favorite blush color from my like major headlines collection. I created this blush because like I wanted a color that was like more so like almost like a bronzer but still had like a hint of like a coral just to kind of bring a little bit of warmth, more like that sun-kissed vibe. And I'm also gonna use She's Seductive just like right on top. This is like more of like a, again, it's very almost like bronzer but has a bit of like a mauve into it. So I'm gonna blend this again and just kind of diffuse it on top. And then what I always like to do after is just take my blender and kind of just press everything into the skin, so like all of the powder just like melts into the skin, so it kind of there's no harsh line or there's no differentiate where the blush and the concealer and the contour start. So I'm gonna use the shade Royal. Just I'm gonna put this like right onto the bottom of the waterline. I've been like trying these like on my hands, and the fact that they're so pigmented, they're so creamy, and like they kind of just like melt into the waterline. I hate when like an eyeliner scratches in it and it's hard for you to diffuse it into the waterline. These honestly like they glide like butter. I'm using the B121. How did you name these brushes?
B for Becky, B for brush. Pretty easy.
And like, what about the numbers?
The numbers, they're just, we started with 100, so it's like B100, B101, B102. Yeah, just really easy.
I'm slowly gonna diffuse this like right into the concealer just so everything looks nice and diffused and blended. So I'm gonna put a little bit of mascara on.
Do you have a favorite mascara?
I'm actually making my own. This one's mine. I want something that is not too dry. I like it when like I feel like the mascara can like glide onto the lashes like really easily, and it's super black, and you're able to like comb out like each hair or each lash. I always like to apply mascara like right before I do eyelashes. Do you
I do both.
You do both? Before and after? Me too. I always want to make sure that I do before, just because I feel like I want to keep the eyelash, the falsie as like kind of like twinkly and as like fluffy as possible. And I kind of put mascara just like right onto the base to kind of adhere everything. I love the fact that there's also a brush, just because I feel like it makes it so much easier to apply it onto the actual falsie. And you can, I always want to make sure that I apply it like right onto like the bottom of the lash line, but I also want to put it on top.
By the way, I need a new fan. Mine is all messed up from like when it first came out. I've put my fan through hell.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna send you one.
Yes.
Is there like a color that like the
it gets like that like little bluish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one do you feel like you wear the most?
I would say it's Fantasy is like my go-to.
These are more like dramatic, and you more for like a performance or for.
Yeah, I've worn these a lot for performances this sale.
Alright, so I'm gonna take the color Mar. So this is like that like baby blue. And I just want to take a little bit on this is the B121 brush. And I love that it's like more of like a pencil brush, so you can kind of diffuse it just like right into the bottom lash line. So you have like a nice like gradient look. The Royal was a bit more of like a deep royal blue, and this is more of like an ocean blue, so you can kind of have like two different colors to kind of create that like really beautiful like diffused like smoky
Ombre
look.
effect almost.
Ombre,
yeah.
We're almost at the finish line. I'm gonna do the eyebrows now. So I'm gonna use, so this is my new lamination gel. I always want to make sure that there's not like really any powder on on the eyebrows. So I'm gonna comb up the eyebrows just to see the shape. I personally always like to extend more towards the end. I don't know if you actually do, because I feel like in all your photos, I don't know if you actually extend that much. You like to extend or no?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
So whenever I'm filling in like eyebrows, I don't like to fill in too much with like the areas that have like more hair than the others. I like to fill in more so where there's like spacing, just so then when I apply my brow gel, you can actually just like move everything and mold everything into to like the right spot. And then I always like to go in with like a pen, and then I like to like draw on
the hairs,
each hair. Okay, so I'm gonna use my brow gel. I always want to make sure that I really coat the whole entire brow, just so like there's like enough product onto the brow. Just if you have like thicker hair, you really want to be able to coat the product, and then what you want to do is kind of mold it in place until the product gets tacky. And once like the product kind of like gets tacky, like you can really just mold your eyebrow hair to exactly like how you want them to like stick. Use this Glossier pen and kind of just draw on some hairs just like towards the end. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of the same blush color just like right into the crease color, just so that everything like looks like it ties in.
It's one of my favorite things to do.
So are these new?
These are new, and I love them because they are like a matte finish.
Yeah,
they
I think that's super important.
For liquid liners. I even like draw it on top of the lash, because sometimes like a lash can have like
there's like this like clear
shine.
glue, so you wanted to put it on top so it kind of mattifies everything.
Exactly.
So it doesn't look like you're wearing a lash. So I'm gonna take that little nose highlight off. I'm gonna put on a nice like little light powder shade just like right underneath the eyes, and then finish off the look with the lips. And then for the lippy, I think I'm gonna use She's Strong. This is my lip liner. This is like a nice like brown. So I'll put a little bit of this just like right onto the lips. She's Independent. Like I love this color because I feel like it kind of really matches my like blush colors. I think it's always important, whatever lip color you choose, to have some sort of like of the same undertone on your cheeks. And I'm gonna put a little bit of my Glow Bomb just like right onto the high points of the cheek. This is like supposed to give you more of like a natural like kind of like glow from within, like, so it's not too like shimmery, but it's more so like kind of like wet looking.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like, yeah, like you're in Miami, you're a little bit like a little bit sweaty.
That dewy that we were talking about?
That sexy dew. If you ever put too much, I would just take a little bit of powder and just powder in the areas that you don't want the glow. So I'm gonna spray the face now. I always like to only spray, honestly, like the perimeter of the face. And then I like to leave the center of the face a little bit matte. And then
a little birdie bath.
Kind of blow it away.
Feels so good. Oh my god, best. Extended play? My favorite bottom lash. Because of the brush.
Everything.
The brushes. She is here. She has arrived. Finally. She matches her nails. This is like such a moment.
Do you like the skin?
I love it. It's just like very fresh and youthful, but still like
she's 24.
It's not childish. You know, it's not childish. But it's youthful. It's fun. But like I'm about to go into some meetings right now and still get done.
Honestly, Becky, thank you so much for letting me do your makeup. It was so fun to be able to like use a bunch of like your new products. I know like as a brand owner myself, to be able to create a brand and have this many SKUs like on your first launch, it's honestly like so much work. So
it is.
I'm
It's
so
a lot
proud
of
you.
work, but I learn so many great things from individuals like yourself. I'm truly inspired and honored to have shared this time with you and to have your support on Treslúce. For all mi gente watching this, you can go follow Treslúce Beauty now. And thank you for just like vibing and doing all this cute looks, because now I can go do cute stuff. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye, guys.